Bellator 298, August 11th on Showtime from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Who doesn't love Sioux Falls, South Dakota? It's a great place, everybody. So on the main card, Kill Cliff FC, formerly Sanford MMA, Hard Knocks 365, Henry Hoop, Greg Jones, great coaching, great talent. One of their heavyweights who is outstanding, Steve Mowry, is on the main card of Bellator 298. We've got the man. I'm wearing the Steelers for Steve today. I'm a Dolphins fan, but I'm doing this for Steve. Steve Mowry, thank you so much, Steve. Hey, first of all, tell us just about Bellator 298 and your main card matchup.
Bellator 298 is absolutely stacked with dudes who are going to bring the action. We got a bunch of the Kill Cliff guys fighting. You have yours truly in the co-main event. You have my teammate Logan Storley fighting with Brennan Ward in the main event. It's going to be a sick show.
That is going to be an outstanding event. And you mentioned Logan's there as well. So you've got two Kill Cliff FC guys. Main event, co-main event. It'll just outstanding talent there. Tell us a little bit about Kill Cliff FC, formerly Sanford MMA.
So Kill Cliff FC is the culmination of a lot of hard work between our founders, Henry Hooft and his partner, Greg Jones. We have several other coaches who joined the staff. Jason Strout's on there. We have Saeed Saparov. We have Gerald Mearshart just took up the head jiu-jitsu instruction. I brought on my own guy, AJ Souza, also a jiu-jitsu instructor, a Miami native. We have the best coaches, the best team, and like I said, everywhere we show up, we show out.
And that's the truth. And it's in South Florida in Deerfield Beach. That's amazing. Steve, how did you get in contact with that group and start your training there?
I met Henry Hooft coming up on 8 years ago whenever I was getting ready to turn professional. I knew that where I was at in Western Pennsylvania, didn't really have all the resources I needed, and I was really looking forward to kind of like branching out and kind of joining something where I could join a pack of hungry guys who are all trying to get better, all trying to reach similar goals. And just as fate would have it, everything kind of like lined up at the right time. I met Henry and Greg, who were the coaches of what was called the Black Zillions back then. And then through several iterations and, different teams, different facilities, different partnerships, we all stuck together, and now we're Kill Cliff FC.
I didn't realize you went back to the Black Zillion days. So, Steven, were you there when it was Black Zillions versus ATT and Black Zillions got the victory?
I got there maybe months after the show had ended. So, no, I missed out on all the action and the drama and the prestige, but I was definitely there for kind of, I don't know if you want to call it the fallout, but definitely the aftermath of it. It was still very like lively with the anticipation and the drama and the whatever, all the things that came with the show that happened. It just happened.
Everybody there must have been just so excited, so amped up. Was that just the feeling overall?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, people were like, I think it'd been 6 months, a year, somewhere in there, and even for how much time had passed, there was still like the rumblings of it were still happening, like people were still talking about some of the things that happened on the show, some of the things that happened against the other team, some of the things that happened within the team. It was a crazy time. And unfortunately, I joined the Black Zillions whenever they were kind of on their last legs, as it were. And, I still feel like I really got to be a part of the Black Zillions atmosphere before it, transferred into the team that it was after that.
And it's interesting, Stephen, when you become a fighter, and so far, hey, you're undefeated, by the way, everybody. Heavyweight undefeated, 6'8", by the way, as well, throwing that in there. I'm curious, when you're becoming a fighter, what is it like when you have teammates on the show? Logan Storley's in the main event of this Bellator MMA 298, August 11th on Showtime. You're in the co-main event. How much of it, I know it's so individualized MMA, but how much is there a team aspect of it as well?
Yeah, I mean, I would say first and foremost that it heightens the sense of occasion that comes with the event. Everybody's kind of looking around, seeing what everybody's doing, holding each other accountable, especially Logan, who, was an interim world champion at one time. Logan's a guy that I find myself looking to him, kind of seeing the example he sets. I try to, pick things from him, learn things from him. but it also in a weird competitive way makes me want to step my game up too. Okay, what can I do that Logan hasn't done yet? What can I do that Logan would look at me and be proud of or want to try to take from me? And when you put us all on the same card, it definitely puts a little bit more fuel in the tank for us all to perform in a way that we represent each other and our team well.
And it's interesting. Hey, please correct me if I'm wrong. Mowry, is Linton Vassell also Kill Cliff FC?
Yes, sir.
What's it like having Linton there too? He's also ranked high in the heavyweight standings for Bellator.
I mean, Linton's like my big brother. It's awesome. We've been training partners since he was a light heavyweight and I was 0-0 as a professional. So I'll be honest with you, it's only ever been business as usual, especially now whenever we're coming up in the rankings. We both kind of established ourselves him already, but me, now that I've established myself in the division, it really kind of heightened the sense of, like I just talked about, that competitive sense of wanting to push each other, but also that fraternal sense of, hey man, we got this. We're here for each other. We're here to push each other.
It's amazing the amount of talent that's there. And I do want to get into this because you will be a rematch you will have against former interim heavyweight champion Moldavsky of Russia. And I'm curious, tell us about the first outing. I know it was a little bit crazy there and just getting ready for this one. And I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but what does a victory over him get you or mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like you said, it was as crazy as it was brief, just in that it was almost over as soon as it started. And I try not to think too far ahead. I try not to think too far back. What happened back in August a year ago and what happens, 8 days from now or however far out we are, I feel like they're totally inconsequential in relation to what I'm going to do on 7 days from now. This Friday is coming up, which is, like you said, to get a victory, to get a win over somebody that I really respect as a competitor, somebody who has a high competition acumen, somebody who's achieved a lot, another young, hungry, up-and-coming guy in the sport, another established young lion in a division full of, older lions with sharp claws still. It would mean so much to me to get in there and get a victory over somebody like Valentin Moldavsky.
So, Mowry, who's been helping you get ready for this one and who will be in your corner?
So we have all the usual suspects at Kill Cliff. We have Victor Pesta, Linton Vassell, of course. We have a couple younger up-and-coming guys. We have a newer guy named Billy Schoenfelder. We have Daquan Buckley, both dudes coming up on the regional circuit. We have Darian Abbey, an old opponent of mine who not just recently, but he joined the team. All the coaches I mentioned before, like I said, the new guy that I brought on now, AJ Souza. So I'm really feeling that I've rounded out the talent side along with the skill side.
And Steven, give me a little bit of your background. I mean, 6'8". I'm thinking basketball or even volleyball for that matter. What was your background? Or am I totally off on that?
You're totally off. I didn't play any sports until I decided I was going to be a fighter one day. So I started wrestling.
What would you be doing if you weren't doing MMA?
Oh man, I don't even like to think about it.
Then don't think about it, because you're doing MMA and you're 10-0-1. You're going into this big show Bellator 298 in the co-main event. You don't have to think about that, Mowry.
Anything else except doing what I got to do.
And I'm curious, as a 6'8" guy involved in MMA, pluses and minuses, what has it been for you with the height?
It definitely helps to be a little bit longer than everybody else. It's an advantage that we see in other guys who are long for their division. They're able to exploit it. I definitely would say that it's helped me so far. They'll talk about the pluses and minuses of being taller than everybody. They don't want to talk about the pluses and minuses of being way more handsome than everybody. Everybody would have come put a mark on my face, try to bring me down to their level a little bit. So
Mowry's going for the GQ of MMA. That's it right there. Hey, a couple more questions. We'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for the time. Hey, what has it been like in South Florida? Do you like it down here?
Yeah, I love South Florida. Like you said, I'm originally a Pittsburgh guy. I grew up just outside the city until I moved down here when I was, 22. And South Florida's home now. I feel like a Floridian, which is probably weird for me to hear coming out of my own mouth as much as it is the people who know me. But no, I mean, I have a family now here, and I couldn't imagine raising a family anywhere else. And, you know, it's just South Florida is beautiful, man. I'm happy to be here.
And we're happy to have you, Steven. So it's just amazing and all. And I'm curious, have you found any good sushi places down here?
Oh, sushi down here is the best. Sushi down here is the top of the top. So, I mean, the all-you-can-eat sushi buffet back home is, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's usually good, but to get to the real sushi spots, you have to go to the a la carte places or, like, the special sushi restaurants. But down here, it's like if I could go outside and throw a football and hit a good sushi restaurant.
2 I'm going to give you, Mowry.
Let's hear it.
Hard Rock Sushi down in Fort Lauderdale off of Sunrise Boulevard. You can look it up. And the other one is Bats, P-H-A-T. It's in Coral Springs.
It's right up the road from me. I go there all the time.
Ah, there you go. Yes, Mowry's my guy. That's it right there. He gets a stamp of approval. So I know you said you didn't play sports. You weren't into sports. Were you into the sports teams then or no in Pittsburgh?
I mean, you kind of have to be. It's such a sports is such an integral part of the culture there that you're always hearing about it. You're always hearing people talk about it. You're always hearing, whatever. It's it doesn't really have there isn't really a culture outside of sports in Western Pennsylvania, and that's not really a bad thing so much as it is just that's what everybody does. I used to work I worked bars growing up, as a bouncer, especially really up until a few years ago, and I think about all the time about how, like, down here, every bar has a different theme, has a different, a get up, a dance bar, club, sports bar. Back home, everywhere is a sports bar. There's no, like, swanky jazz clubs. There's no small music halls like Club Rev. Everywhere's a sports bar. If you're not playing a game the night of an event, then that place is going to be empty.
Iron City Beer, Mowry.
That's right.
I did my homework. So
they tell you everybody talks about Iron City Beer. They don't talk about the Rolling Rock, which is the icy light of Western Pennsylvania.
Here it is. Mowry's giving us information, everybody. This is great. All right, last question. Or Jimmy, Bellator, the media team, they're going to get on my case about all this. So one more question for you, Mowry. Get you out of here. Pro wrestling. You're such a big guy, 6'8". We've seen crossover with the pro wrestlers, the MMA talent and all. I'm curious, your take on it, something you might be interested in doing, not?
So I grew up, and as growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch pro wrestling. Was not allowed. And it was, I never really thought much of it one way or the other. I mean, when it was on at, like, a friend's house or something, I would watch it. But honestly, I didn't really know what to think of it because I knew it wasn't a competition, but there is obviously, like, an athletic component to it and so on and so forth. So, I mean, at this point in my life, no, I'm not interested. But that said, if you'd have told me 20 years ago that I was going to be a professional athlete, I would have laughed at you. So, I mean, anything's possible, right?
It is. Never say never, as the saying goes. And I want to thank you, Stephen Mowry. Heavyweight, undefeated, big fight, Bellator 298, August 11th on Showtime, the co-main event. His teammate, Logan Storley, Kill Cliff FC, is in the main event. And Mowry, I think I know you're a movie guy. Did I go okay with Elf? And did I go okay with Ace Ventura back here or no? Those are
Elf
two
and
movies.
Ventura. Elf and Ace Ventura, especially fitting the theme, are A-okay. Especially the first Ace Ventura and the Dolphins. You got to be.
Mowry said it. Yes, Mowry. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah. It was a pleasure talking to you, Jim. You're the man. Thank you.